What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mr. Robles here, back with another video. Now, until we return back to school, I don't know when that'll be, but hey, you're gonna have these video formats for the next couple of days. Our budget might go up, down, who knows? We'll see. But anywho, before we go on to our next lesson, I do want to talk a little bit about valence electrons, because it's been one of the topics I really kind of wanted to enjoy talking with you about, but because we're not one-on-one classroom, this will have to suffice. Don't worry. If you can't see this, Mr. Robles, you can't see it. It's too dark. It's too bright. I just took a picture in some classroom. Just look down up there. I don't know where, but somewhere it's there. Anywho, let's talk about valence electrons. First off, what is a valence electron? If you remember from your lessons, it's basically the extra electron that's floating around. Now remember, in the first shell of electrons, there's only 2, but anything beyond that, it's always 8. When the valence electrons, we're going to focus on groups 1, 2, and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. We're only going to focus on those groups. Don't worry about the metals. That's a whole college-level project you'll do eventually in the far future. But for now, I want to talk about valence electrons and how they create chemical bonds, because that's the next section you're going to start tomorrow. All right, so first off, let's bring up a little example of a valence electron, what it looks like. First off, over here we got sodium and chlorine. So mix them together, you got sodium chloride, or table salt. But here's the thing with these two, and I wanted to focus on these two. Sodium only has 1 valence electron, while chlorine has 7. Now, you might have seen this through some of the examples and the notes I've given you, but the weird way I write these, and other people will write them. The reason why we write 8 circles around it, but they're paired and 1 in each corner, is because of something called the lonely bus seat rule. Back in high school, I was taught this. The lonely bus seat rule states that 2 valence electrons can always be together, floating in the same area, but the others can't. They have to be paired up, and usually people like to be alone. Like if you get on a school bus, nobody likes to really sit next to someone else. They always want to sit alone. You'll notice this in 2 years, 3, depending on when you go to high school. Usually people like to sit alone, but once all the 4 seats on the 4 corners are filled up, then you start pairing them up. Everything in the universe wishes to be balanced, as Thanos said. And this is true for valence electrons. Either they want to get rid of all their electrons to have the previous shell all filled and even and nice, or they want to fill in the missing spots. Now, with groups 1, 2, and 13, these want to get rid of their electrons so that they can stay their outer shell at a 0 level and be neutral. While groups 15 and 18 want to gain electrons to stay full 8, a full 8. 14, on the other hand, which includes carbon and a few other elements, those guys don't care. They can go either way. Now, unfortunately, because nature does say these guys should have this many electrons, they can't technically fully get rid of them, but you can say borrow them. For example, when sodium and chlorine come together, you can say you can have their loose ends connect. That way you can say, well, sodium's not technically getting rid of it, but it is letting it borrow it so it can pretend to be full and balanced, even though it's not. But this connection, this bond, chemical bond, allows them to be pretty much together and hold tight. Chlorine gets its full shell, sodium gets its full shell. 0, it loses the extra electron in its valence, while chlorine gained 1. But it's still holding on because it technically can't leave sodium altogether. Anywho, this is pretty much the whole story of valence electrons. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below, or you can leave it in the Google Forms that will be dropping by. Anywho, guys, take care. If you have any questions, again, let me know, and I'll see you next time.